Good to have you. My name is Prince, and we have been on this journey of travel, voyage. Most likely, we've been discussing Afrocentric travel stories and experiences. And here today, we have Tabea Barbara. Tabea, you're welcome to the program. Good to have you.
Thank you so much, Prince, for having me here.
You're welcome. Could you please introduce yourself?
Okay, hi viewers. My name is Barbara Gracia Tabea, currently a master's student of international relations and also a travel enthusiast, which is the reason why I am here today.
You're welcome. Thank you. So, can you share with us what has sparked your passion about travel?
Okay, so my passion for travel has been inspired by watching my dad travel. Like since my childhood, I have been watching him travel for different reasons, mostly work, but also leisure. And so watching him travel and experience the world also inspired me to do the same. I officially started traveling at 1 or 2 years to nearby Kenya, Nairobi. And then from there, I kept going on vacations with my parents. And then eventually, I was able to start traveling alone at the age of 19, I think. And since then, I have been able to travel solo. So that's basically about my passion.
A very wonderful travel history. So, how many countries have you visited?
17.
Wow, how did you do that? All right, so the question here I would want to ask these 17 countries you visited, we know we have most of them in Europe, especially in connection to France and Malta. So, the question here would be what drew you to these particular destinations? Do you have a favorite?
Okay, so one of the things that motivated me to move a lot is the desire to see new people, the desire to adventure, the desire to experience new cultures, which has also been shaped by the fact that I have been an international relations student for so long, and it's really a course where we have to talk about the world and look at the different experiences in the world. And so, yeah, that has been one of my biggest motivators to travel. For my favorite country, I really can't decide which country has been my favorite because you learn different things from different countries. Each country has something new to offer. But on top of my list, I can list a couple of countries. One of the countries that I really enjoyed in Europe was Spain because of the warmth, the good weather. You go in the winter, and Spain, it's looking like it's summer. So it's really different from many countries. And also, the people themselves generally are very welcoming. In Africa, which is my continent, I also really loved Mauritius. I had a family trip to Mauritius and I got to see that it was a pretty developed country, small island, but looks amazing. I really loved what I saw, how developed it was, and obviously, I love the beaches as well. I'm a beach girl. Not beach as in BITCH, but like BEACH. I really love the beach and islands. We do have beaches and islands in Uganda, but not the kind that's on the ocean or the sea. So I really love to see that when I travel. I also really enjoyed Italy, where I happened to go more than 3 times. And one of the most interesting things that happened, I watched my first live football match in Italy. It was actually Inter Milan. And
Okay.
on that day, they were giving Samuel Eto'o an award. So, guys, I actually saw Samuel Eto'o. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty interesting. So, yeah, I think those three countries rank pretty high on my list of travel. Yeah.
Good. Have all these things contributed to your personal growth? If it has, in what way? And how would you want others to know?
So first of all, for travel, educationally, you get to learn about different cultures, what those cultures are doing, what people are eating in different countries, which is basically adding to your knowledge. You never know where you'll need this knowledge in life. But also, generally, when you travel, you learn responsibility, you learn planning, you learn how to organize yourself. You have to put together those tickets on your own. Sometimes you don't have money to pay for a travel agent, so you have to put everything together on your own.
Yeah.
Sometimes you even have to shop, buy new clothes. You're
Yeah.
going to a destination that's summer, like you're going to Greece. You have to dress for Greece. You can't be dressing for some a random, not
Other out
exotic place.
attire.
Yeah, you have to look like Greece when you're going
Grace.
to Greece.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I can say.
Yeah. That's credible. So we can pick out planning, organization. It gives you that awareness, that responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. Yes,
Yeah.
so many people out there are so afraid of travel. They are so afraid of the finances that comes with travel. So this financial expectation, how could people harness these expectations? People attribute travel to a luxury lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
attribute travel to too much money. So, what would you say? How can people move from here to here, maybe in Africa or even in Europe, without uh, acquiring so many expensive bills? What would you say?
Okay, so first of all, to all our viewers, travel does not have to be expensive. Personally, I do not travel expensive unless I have sponsors, i.e., my parents. But if they are not there, trust me, my travel is not expensive. So, first of all, this misconception out there that travel has to be expensive, has to be put in a bin somewhere, it does not have to be. For example, just here in Uganda, so many people do not know that you can leave Uganda and go to Rwanda by bus at 70,000 Uganda shillings. I can even say the bus Jaguar is 70,000 Uganda shillings.
That's
You
a
move
travel
from
tip.
Kampala
Yeah.
to Rwanda, you pay
Yeah.
70K and you pay another 70K
Back.
and you return, and in total that's like $40.
Yeah.
So tell me, how is this expensive? Yet you're going to restaurants around Kampala and
And
you're paying
spending more.
$40. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to the club every night. You're spending a million. Bills in Uganda in clubs come in millions.
Millions. Yeah.
Millions. And
Yeah.
people are telling me they don't want to spend their money to go to Rwanda. So yeah, I feel like people have to change their mindsets first of all, and those who have traveled have to put their experiences out there, like I'm doing so right now, and telling our viewers that travel does not necessarily have to be expensive. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for doing that. And leveraging, most importantly, on YangaVoyage to address the stereotypes actually helps. But let's talk about the area of cultural differences when you go to these places. Have you gotten any cultural shock? What cultural differences have you really experienced? How does it vary with what you've already known? And how can we all learn from all of that?
So I think in the 21st century, first of all, we should not be scared of experiencing new cultures. It may be a shock the first time, but this is our world today. There's so many different cultures, but then at the same time, we're in a global village, so we shouldn't be scared of the unknown. Go to a country, learn what they want and what they do not want. There are so many things in different cultures that are not tolerated. So before you go to a country, you might have to research on that country. Maybe some cities do not tolerate dressing in short clothing. You have to know this before you go to the city so that you fit right in. So sorry, for
Sorry.
people who want to travel, I feel like you have to make a lot of research on those cultural issues. And then I know that there are also people who are scared of languages. which has never been my case. Even if you told me to go to China right now, I don't speak a single word of Chinese, but I don't care. I'll use my Google Translate. We have technology of late, we have AI. Use it, make use of it. You do not need to be scared about the language or learn a language just to travel. We have these tools that technology has provided us with. So, yeah, that's what I can say.
Thank you so much. And you know, Europe has this diverse of cultures, right? So, did you encounter any European culture that was totally different from what you know? You know, being the fact that you have moved 10 countries in Europe. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
10
So,
countries.
moving 10 countries in Europe, did you? How can you? What cultural differences there within Europe can you share that maybe someone out there can learn from?
Hmm. For me personally, if I'm to say, I didn't really find a lot of cultural differences between the European countries. Maybe also because I wasn't really like maybe too keen
Yeah.
on what is different from this culture.
Okay.
Maybe about the food. There's some countries whose food is like totally different. But
Mm-hmm.
also when I travel, I'm not really a person who goes out there to taste that like the traditional food. Yeah, I want to see what people are eating in this country. Also, maybe because I travel on budget, you
Okay.
cannot be testing every single food on budget. So I'll probably be eating KFC or some random fast foods. So yeah, but generally, I can't remember any major cultural shocks that I've experienced while
Uh,
moving in Europe.
all right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, finally, we want to ask, as people who are listening to you, hoping to travel the world someday, as you have, you know, imagine 17 countries, started traveling at the age of 1 and 2, and have watched the dad travel for how many years? Did you say your dad has? How many countries have you said your dad has been?
He said more than 80.
More than 80,
Yeah.
over 80 countries. So what would be some insightful talks, some messages you would want the listeners out there to take home on travel, on the impacts, the aim, and how they should how it should affect their mindsets and perspective?
So I think the first thing for our viewers regarding travel is about the mindset. In order to travel, you have to have that mindset, that positive mindset of wanting to see what's out there in the world. And you also, at the same time, have to be tolerant and receptive to new people and new things because you're going to experience so many new things on your journey. But I would also advise people to always plan well, plan your trips, make sure you have your account set, you have your credit card set, you have extra cash on you, and also do research on the countries you're going to visit to make sure you try to fit in. I think that's one of the things that has really helped me. Like before you go to a country, you make like major research on that city that you're going to make sure you do not do things that may be seen as inappropriate in such places. Yeah, I think that's basically what I can tell our viewers. Yeah, and go out there, see the world. I think it's a very important thing. I feel like if you live in your small cocoon, you will not know what's happening outside. There's so many things that are happening that you could learn if you travel.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank you, Barbara, for coming on the show, and thank you for sharing your insights on these great areas that people need to understand about travel. So now, guys, everyone out there seeing this, I want you to understand that there are lessons, important lessons about travel, responsibility, planning, organization, and yes, there are places to see in the world, and these places are not expensive. You can do this. Barbara have done it. A lot of people are doing this, and you can do this. And with that, we want to look forward to the next time we will be speaking to you. Do have a fine day.